Bovine Spongiform Encephalopathy, or BSE, is a slow, progressive, fatal disease of the central nervous system of cattle. Scientific evidence suggests that BSE is associated with a rare human disease called variant Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease. The consequence of BSE infection is a fatal, incurable brain-wasting disease in cattle, which can be transmitted by the consumption of infected animal byproducts. Diagnosis of the disease is difficult, and preventing BSE is the only safeguard. There are no treatments, and no vaccines are available. The financial impact of just one positive animal can be devastating to an individual operation, but due to the effect on markets, it can cost the industry billions of dollars as well. Everyone must do their part to protect our products for our consumers. This segment will deal with what you can do as a producer to prevent BSE. Producer component. Each producer or employee of a livestock operation must do his or her part to ensure that the feed supplied to animals under their care is free of the contaminants that could cause BSE. The size of the operation doesn't matter, as Nebraska has producers with over 100,000 animals, down to the 4-H'er or FFA member with 1 show steer or wether. All ruminant species are included in these requirements, with the most prominent being the beef cattle industry. But it also includes dairy, sheep, goats, bison, and other ruminant industry segments. As producers, we strive to protect the food that we are producing so that we can continue to provide the safest, most wholesome product available to our customer, the consumer. What is the purpose and scope of this regulation? Title 21, Part 589, Sections 2000 and 2001 of the Code of Federal Regulations is the law governing prohibited products in animal feeds. These regulations provide multiple levels of protection at all levels and segments of the livestock production systems to ensure potentially infective material is not only removed but would not be able to be included in the feeds of susceptible animals. The Food and Drug Administration, working with your Nebraska Department of Agriculture, are responsible for working with producers and other industry segments to ensure a safe feed supply is available to your livestock. This is done through inspections at feed mills, feed warehouses, and livestock operations. Samples are analyzed from both finished feeds and ingredients to look for the prohibited products at all parts of the feed supply. As a producer, you are responsible for keeping your herd free of BSE. There are 4 key areas within your control. First, observe your animals. As the person who sees the animals on a regular basis, you are in a better position than anyone else to notice animals exhibiting marked changes in behavior, abnormal posture, incoordinated movement, and losses of condition or productivity. Work with your veterinarian to determine the cause of these symptoms. 2. Read your labels. As a feeder of livestock, you need to know what types of feed your animals are receiving, and you have the responsibility for fulfilling requirements that come with using certain ingredients or additives. Read before you feed refers to reviewing information on invoices and feed labeling before feeding to your livestock. Livestock feeds that contain prohibited products must display the caution statement on the label or feed tag that states, "Do not feed to cattle or other ruminants." Pet food does not have this requirement. Ideally, pet food is stored in locations away from ruminant feed and fed in areas where ruminant livestock cannot gain access to the food or supply. All feeds containing prohibited product should be stored separately from the ruminant feeds. This can be a separate location, a physical barrier, or a distance from the ruminant feed that would prevent the accidental contamination of feeds between species. Third, know your ingredients. If you're mixing rations on the farm or ranch, you must make certain that prohibited proteins are not included in ruminant rations. If you're mixing rations containing prohibited materials and rations free of prohibited materials, The best method of preventing cross-contamination is to utilize dedicated equipment for the storage, transporting, mixing, and feeding of any ingredients or rations containing prohibited materials. If that is not possible, you must have written procedures for cleaning equipment and document what was done and who was responsible. Refer to FDA Guidance for Industry 69. Fourth, keeping records. Keep records, including invoices and labeling of purchased feeds containing animal protein, prohibited or not. These records must be kept for a period of 1 year. These records should contain the supplier's name and address, the date of purchase or delivery, identification of the product, and the amount. Feeds for which record keeping is required includes ingredients, complete feeds and supplements containing, for example, feather meal, blood meal, or porcine meat and bone meal. Any feed that contains milk products, including milk replacers, is subject to the record-keeping requirement. Terminology. Numerous times we've addressed prohibited protein products, non-prohibited animal protein products, or exempted protein products. Let's take a few moments and make sure that there is a firm understanding of what each of these classifications mean. Animal protein products are any protein products derived from an animal origin. It includes all mammalian products as well as poultry, marine, or fish-derived proteins. These are from any part of the animal, and examples include meat and bone meal, blood meal, feather meal, and milk products. Prohibited protein products. These proteins are considered prohibited if they come from cattle or other ruminants unless specifically exempted. Exempt animal protein products. The following products are exempt or non-prohibited: blood or blood products, milk products, and gelatin. The following non-ruminant proteins are exempt or non-prohibited: pure porcine or pork proteins, pure equine or horse proteins, poultry, marine, or fish. The following are exempt or non-prohibited because they do not contain protein or tissue: grease, fats, oils, amino acids, dicalcium phosphate. Tallow, that is fat derived from cattle, is exempt if it contains no more than 0.15% insoluble impurities. SIMPATH stands for Cattle Material Prohibited in Animal Feed. A change in the regulation went into effect in 2009 to enhance the level of protection for the animal feed supply. Specifically, the brains and spinal cords from cattle 30 months of age and older must be removed and cannot be used for animal feed. Products from this source must be labeled "Do not feed to animals." Additional information about SIMPATH will be located in the rendering section of this production. A complete list of animal byproducts normally found in animal feeds is included in a printable document on this media if viewed from a computer. More than 5 million tons of rendered animal proteins are used annually in the U.S. Remember that when considering the use of an animal byproduct in a ruminant ration, that it will either be prohibited and cannot be used in ruminant rations, or will be an exempt product and require proper record keeping to be correctly utilized. The Nebraska livestock industry has done a great job of implementing and adhering to the regulations necessary to prevent BSE. Continue to be diligent in observing the labels and invoices, looking for and preventing contamination of livestock feeds, training family members and new employees of their responsibilities in keeping records as necessary to prevent BSE from becoming a problem. You can contact the Nebraska Department of Agriculture directly. Their phone number is area code 402-471-2341, or visit their website at www.agr.ne.gov, or the FDA website at www.fda.gov, or talk to your vet. Discuss it with your feed supplier, or visit your local UNL Extension office at www.yourcountyname.unl.edu.